Tonight at 10.
So I think the intro music should be done by now. We don't have there's a rhythm that is not here yet, but we're going to get there.
It's like when you brush your teeth from what I've noticed.
You know. So hello, welcome back to my favorite podcast. We're your favorite co-hosts.
I'm
Aaron
your favorite
Sweeney.
co-host. I'm going to have to turn your volume up because I keep talking over you.
Same. I'm just like, I have you. Here's the thing. We heard your comments and we are aware of the audio technical difficulties that we were experiencing. I mean, granted, we were aware of them when we were editing the podcast, but we know
did our best.
And yeah, we did do our best. And now what we're doing is like lowering the volume so that our headphones, like our mics, don't pick up our headphones. But now it's kind of like I don't hear him. So basically what's happening is now we're both yelling at each other because we lowered each other's volumes. And you win some, you lose some.
It's like going over to my grandparents' house for lunch and witnessing a conversation between them.
Pretty much what it feels like right now. Yeah. So yeah, we're working on that. As you know, our podcast is now available on Spotify and iTunes. The links should be in the description.
We're official. Whip it out. And
yeah,
I
did
your Spotify app.
I did really enjoy Ty throwing just like physical CDs of the podcast on the highway. That was a really nice visual. So
I did that, and nobody called the cops on me.
I'm good. I'm very.
I consider it a success,
as you should. So I'm gonna tell. We're gonna share a bit about our day. Oh, is that your dog?
No, I got this from the thrift store. It's got dogs on it. And then I looked at the bottom and it says 9/11 Memorial.
But Ty, what the hell?
I don't know.
I mean,
I was like, oh, this is cute dog cup on the bottom. 9/11 Memorial. And I just didn't expect it. I just didn't expect it.
I don't think anyone did, but I mean that little dog on the front looks like Goose. I would have believed you if you told me it was Goose.
That kind of looks like Goose, and this one kind of looks like Nani.
I mean, if you stretched Nani out a little, yeah.
Nani's pretty stretchy.
I mean, like her face isn't as long. Like that dog has the snoot.
Zoos.
So I have to share an embarrassing story with you that happened literally an hour ago.
Yeah, I'm down.
I went to my osteopath and I was on the way out of my osteopath's office and I'm talking to the secretary and I'm really, there are times in my life where I feel like I become more visibly, noticeably autistic, which is like, it's not to be problematic. It's just like the literal truth. I feel like there are times where I'm like, I know that you could tell that I'm struggling right here. So the receptionist who I'm already fumbling to communicate with, gives me my appointment for the next time. It's all good. I'm on my way out. And she's like, have a nice day. But I thought she said happy birthday. So I was like, it's not my birthday. She's like, okay. And there was just this moment. I'm like, is it your birthday? And she's like, no. And it was just so painful. I was like, oh, you said have a nice day. But at this point, she's already like, sir, please leave. Yeah. This is a McDonald's. You're scaring the customers. So like, so that was my, like, when you just, your shoulders get really, I just want to hide in my body. That's how I felt.
You just want to run away.
And then the more you explain it, the worse it gets. Because like, oh, I thought you said happy birthday. And she's like, yeah, no, I know. It's still fucking weird. I'm like, okay, great. This was a really good talk.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that was.
Is an osteopath someone who can't feel empathy?
What? No.
Okay.
An osteopath is they do the cricks and the cracks and they break your back. Now they put things back in. It's mine's a doctor. Not all of them are doctors, I think, but mine's a doctor, and he basically, when I have dislocations and stuff, I go see him, and he like tries to put my joints back where they're supposed to be. He also helps with some of my like digestive issues. Like anyway,
is that like a chiropractor? He told me that I'm like, or is that a different
what?
thing? Like a chiropractor?
Yeah, it's just my osteopath does like a lot of other stuff. I don't actually know the difference. I would be lying if I said I did. But he does help me with like digestive issues and stuff. And today he said some scary shit. I'm like, could you maybe tone it down a couple notches?
What did he say that scared you?
So I have a lot of issues with my stomach and stuff. And the thing in your stomach that opens and closes so
your
that
belly button.
No. I want to make up a word like sphincter, but then I'm like, that might be a car part. I wouldn't actually know.
No, sphincter is one of those.
Yeah.
I know sphincter in terms of your butt, but it might... There
might be a butt
There's
thing.
probably more. You probably got a few
I could be
sphincters
completely wrong because
about.
I'm very dyslexic. Well, the thing at the bottom of your esophagus that like stops your stomach acid from pouring into your mouth when you bend over, mine doesn't do that. If I bend over to tie my shoes, I get stomach acid in my esophagus and in my mouth. And he thinks it's because he thinks something in my stomach is like herniated from when I had a pneumonia.
Oh, goodness.
Anyway, all that because I told him, I'm just like, hey, I have pain over here and this and that, and I coughed blood and whatever, all this stuff. And he was like, well, you have to be careful because, he's like, here's a referral. I'm going to go get a thing in the throat with the camera. And Kyla,
is that a biopsy? The scope or something?
Biopsy scope. 420, no scope. What? So no, it's those. I don't think it's a biopsy. Maybe it is. I don't know.
It's
They're
only
going
a
into the
biopsy
camera.
if they take a part out and send it to go get it tested.
Yeah, I think they're just going into the camera to see if it's herniated or if it's just that it's completely burned and it's not able to like open and close because of damage. But then I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, whatever, it's not a rush, it's not a big deal. He's like, well, actually it is, because if you're coughing blood, it's like what happens is if like the condition that I have could cause like, cobblestone something? Where it gets all bumpy inside and then there are blood vessels and then they rupture and then that means I'm swallowing a lot of blood, and if you swallow a lot of blood, eventually you start to poop blood and then you die of cancer, apparently. That was like start to finish, he gave me that as an explanation. I'm like, there was no reason to get that intense.
Holy
I was
shit.
going to go do this anyway. You
0
didn't
to
like
100.
Right? I'm like, that's like, I was like, are you okay? You didn't, it's not that intense. I'm going to go get the camera in my throat. I didn't say I wasn't going to, but I guess he was worried because I was like, it's not a big deal. It's not a rush. And he's like, no, actually death. And I was like, cool. Well, I mean, that's further down the line. There are a couple of steps before that one, including shitting blood, which, we're not there yet. So
That's good.
that was my afternoon. And how was yours?
Mine was different than that. You know what I was thinking when you were saying that? And not to make light of a serious situation,
Please
but
do.
if you ever needed to, you could probably utilize that stomach acid thing to your advantage in attack form. Like
an X-Men?
like that dinosaur from Jurassic Park that does that and it spits acid. If
That's basically, yeah.
dire situation, if you needed to. At least you have that for now.
That's what I was saying. Like, I was making jokes and he was just like a little more serious about it. And I was like, I promise I'm going to go get it checked. And then like we were joking and it was cool, but it's just like, I was like, you didn't have to go there. But yeah, I think it would be cool. Listen, two things. Okay. I guess like trigger warning, like blood anatomy, menstruating. Okay. Firstly, if I could voluntarily shoot acid out of my mouth, I'd be an X-Men. But also, what if instead of bleeding from your uterus every month, like what if you just like could voluntarily cry blood? I'm just saying. It would be, I think, an effective superpower that's not effective in any other way. I love talking about what shitty superpowers I'd like to have. Like nothing cool, no mind reading, no like nothing cool. It just needs to be like kind of useless but scary. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the only problem with the crying blood is that it would out people with uteruses who might be like male presenting. But other than that, I think it'd be pretty dope.
I hadn't thought of that. That's that would be a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, because then I'd be crying blood and people would be like, oh, excuse me?
I mean, again, trigger warning anatomy, trigger warning sex parts, but like, what if you like, ejaculate from your eyes if you have the outie organ instead of the innie organ? You get what I'm saying? Like, everyone wins. So anyway.
That's cool.
Those are the terrible superpowers that I would never want to have. Except, honestly, I think you could scare people by like voluntarily crying blood. I feel like that would get you out of most situations. So.
Oh yeah, or you could be on a plane and be like, I'm sorry, we need to get this show on the road. Like, quit bussing us around this fucking parking lot. Blood's coming out of my eyes.
Yeah, it's like, why were you speeding? And they're like, well, you see, I'm bleeding from my eyes. And they're like, that's a good reason. I allow you to speed. So
Carry on.
I can't come to my exam today. I'm bleeding from my eyes. I feel
prove it.
It has its uses. Okay.
You're right.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I think. And that's a great segment into today's topic. No, not actually. Not really.
Well, I mean, we could get into the topic of the day.
Whenever you like. I mean, I could make bizarre small talk all day. This is my forte.
I'm okay. I get it.
So speaking of bleeding from your eyes,
that's what I want to do anytime I think about the possibility that I could get pregnant.
Yes, and of course, big ol' thick trigger warning, pregnancy, uteruses, anatomy, sexual parts, all that. Like, just letting you know this is all potentially and most likely things that we're going to talk about in the podcast, and the podcasts aren't really edited, so just letting you know now that that's what's coming. So
babies, etc.
Yes. For a minute, again, having trouble hearing you because of the volume thing. I was like, vaping? And I was like, no, you said babies. Okay, good. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
I'm having a rough day.
Oh, shit.
So I'm curious as to what brought about the topic for you.
For me? Okay, yeah. So I brought this up right before we started recording. We were consulting the book. Just a little peek behind the curtain, folks. This is how it all goes down. Very Hollywood insider information. Yeah, I was like, we could do one about pregnancy and babies, because every fucking person that is cis that I know in any way, 6 layers of separation, doesn't matter. Everyone on Earth right now seems to be having a child, and they're all having fucking babies. Strange. Yeah. So, and every time, and I try to be nice. Like, I don't want to be an asshole. But I am just so grateful to be trans at this time. As I watch these people who are my age popping out kids. And that's where I'm going to end that. I'm going to stop talking there and pass it off to Aaron. Aaron, why do you want to talk about having kids?
Well, I got excited when you brought it up because I had literally just been talking to my girlfriend about it like yesterday. And it's a bit in the opposite vein. I'm like, all of my cis friends are also, cis het friends are all having, actually even my non-het friends, they're just fucking, everyone's having babies. Yeah, everyone's having babies. I'm 25 and everything is very scary. Everyone's married and has babies. And I'm like, put them back. No, I'm kidding. Enjoy your kids. Actually, I feel that I'm at that awkward, and you probably too, I'm at that awkward age where when someone tells me they're pregnant, I don't know if I'm supposed to be excited or concerned, okay? Because, when you're like 15 and someone's like, I'm pregnant, you're like, oh, shit. Like, your reaction isn't like, oh, congrats. It's like, oh, shit. And I still react that way. Someone's like, I'm pregnant. I'm like, oh, wait for it. And it's like, isn't that great? I'm like, yeah, it's fantastic.
You gotta, like,
so
read the room.
It's a weird age to be at. Where, like, nobody's concerned that you're pregnant and it's exciting. I'm like, good, this is good. Just somehow my brain doesn't know that I'm almost 30.
No, I feel the same way. People are saying, like, oh, I'm pregnant. And my initial thought is, holy shit, goodbye to the next 18 years of your life. And then, Christy will be there and she's like, oh my God. And they're so excited. And I'm like, okay, everyone else sees this situation a little bit different than I do. Congratulations.
Right? Like, Simple Plan starts playing. It's like, I'm just a kid. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the fucking, congrats. I don't know how you're going to raise a baby. I have a cat and rats, and it's very complicated and tragic to raise them. So, but the other day I was talking to Karina, and don't remember how we got on the topic, but at some point I was like, well, we were talking about having kids. Both my partner and I can't really have biological kids, or like we could, but it would be extremely difficult and probably involve a lot of heartache. So we're both like, either way, I've always wanted to adopt since like before I knew I was trans, before I knew that I had like uterus problems and EDS. But I was like, I'm not ready to get a hysterectomy for like a couple of reasons. Hang on, I'm trying not to vomit. Cool, we're good. So
yeah, hey, whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm having gastrointestinal issues. So I'm not ready to have a uterus because I don't know how my body will react. And there's a good chance that like all of my organs would like get lower. Anyway, EDS is weird. But also I'm just not ready to deal with like it doesn't have to be traumatic, but for me, like the psychological trauma of not like, of basically being like sterilized when like I'm not ready for that yet. And then she was asking, she's like, well, why? If we both can't have kids, why is that still a thing for you? And I'm like, well, firstly, I love you to the ends of the earth, but like things happen. If everyone would break up, if like, I don't know, like if my partner would cheat on me, I wouldn't stay with it. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to. It's not to be jaded, but also not to be naive. It's like if ever we don't work out and we're in different relationships, if I'm with a partner whose genitals could mix with mine to make a baby, maybe that's something I would do. What? Sorry?
Nothing. Keep going.
This is worse because I don't hear all the... I'm only going to hear it while editing and be like, God damn it, Ty. So yeah, that was the talk. I was just like, maybe... And then she's like, would you be able to handle pregnancy? I'm like, absolutely not. Not at this present moment, no. And not in the foreseeable future. But there's something about it in my head that I like to have options.
Yeah.
I'm bad at dead ends. I'm bad at committing to anything that is a definitive answer, which isn't a great quality that I possess. But yeah, at this moment, I haven't worked out all the mental work around that. Yeah. I'm always afraid I'm going to regret things,
Well, that's a huge one. I mean, that's a lot to decide.
Yeah.
And even if you weren't physically carrying something, like you could always get an egg out or something and figure that shit out.
Well, at that point, it's like I already know what the process would be
and stuff. Oh,
well, I wouldn't have my eggs extracted because it's complicated and it's a lot. It's a lot. They give you like a ton of estrogen. Like I'd become dysphoric. Like at that point, I'm like I might as well carry a kid with the amount of time it takes and the amount of money it costs. And even at that, with the success rate of frozen eggs, at least those that I'm aware of, it would kind of be like all or nothing, like pregnancy or GTFO type thing. Unless I had a partner who could or wanted to carry my eggs. Sorry, I'm picturing like duck eggs or something. Just carry these
with
eggs.
Little polka dots on it.
So I don't know. It's weird because in my head I'm like, absolutely, I don't think I could ever carry a kid. Like physically, like biologically, EDS wise, I don't think I can carry a child. I don't think it's safe for me or the baby. But also psychologically, I don't think I could deal with it. But somehow my brain is like, but those options. So still working that one out.
Right.
Yeah. 9 months is a long time.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, getting pregnant is my biggest fear. Maybe. I don't know.
Have you...
I still have I still have all the things that would make me pregnant, that would do it, inside me. And I have a doctor that my mom goes to that's like a family friend, a gyno who has already spoken to my mom. She's had this conversation with him about, getting my histo. But I am so freaked out by all of that, by even just...
I just tapped him on the butt and he jumped. Sorry.
By even just like the appointment, the big show, all of that, I don't want to be a part of any of it. And then there's this thing that happens apparently when you get your shit taken out where like, since one of your organs is gone, the other ones can like fall. And fuck that. I'm a very active person. I'm upside down probably 25% of the time. I don't know. I don't want stuff falling. I don't want anything coming out.
Well, that's what I was talking about. So typically, like, I have quite a few details with this, just in case I could, like, hear people in the comment, like, buttoning their white lab coat, just like, but, like, hang on, wait.
All right, so, correct me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I'm not.
Honestly.
I'm not correcting you. I'm saying your real, like, concern.
If I'm saying stuff that's bullshit.
No. I was just going to say that your concern is absolutely valid. The word for that starts with a P, but it doesn't sound like it starts with a P. Damn, I'll look it up. But anyway, yes, what happens... Go ahead.
Is it like an F sound? Because sometimes things that start with a P have an F sound.
Maybe
if
an
it's like
S sound.
PH.
Can't remember off the top of my head.
Or an S, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
Basically,
continue.
It's a word for the natural descent of your organs, basically going toward where the gravity is, which is, downward, unless you're hanging upside down for multiple hours a day, I suppose. But, anyway, and that is something that can happen. Typically, what is supposed to happen is when you get something like a hysterectomy, scar tissue is supposed to take up the space that the organ took up. Excuse me. And that scar tissue is supposed to hold up the rest of the organs. It's just scar tissue is made of collagen, and my body doesn't know what collagen is. It's like, I'm sorry, what? Where? She doesn't go here. So I'm worried because I'm like, when I get a scar, including my top surgery scars, usually they're concave. Sometimes there's no scar tissue at all. Like, it's just like a hole. Like on my face, I have a lot of them from like acne. Sometimes like my scars on my chest, there are some like just complete, just like holes. Like there wasn't any scar tissue made there. And it's just, and that's why my scars open up a little sometimes. It's real gross. But anyway, I don't want that happening on the inside of me where it's supporting all of my internal organs. So yeah, no, definitely a valid concern. And that's why I'm worried, because I'm at a way, way, way higher risk of that happening. And I'm like, my uterus is rude and annoying, but it's holding things up. It's kind of like a shelf, So, just gonna leave that there. Just not gonna play with fire.
Shelf. Yeah. That's what's hard, is that like I was so fine forever, like leading up to this last year-ish, or like last couple years, where like I had only ever been with partners who couldn't like physically get me pregnant. And then suddenly I was with, like someone who could, and I just lived in constant fear. And now that's something I have to deal with, and like I didn't think I would have to deal with that, and it sucks. I shouldn't have to fucking have this thought in the back of my mind haunting me at all times.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see where that fear is from. Kind of get off, but like I haven't been with that many partners, but when I was with a partner who could impregnate me, I used to get like nightmares about it. And we weren't even, I mean, not to get graphic, trigger warning sex, but like we weren't even having like penetrative sex. I was just like, what if it gets near me? And I was like, I was really,
what if it gets in somehow?
The tip is on the door, like,
you're like, the skin is the most absorbent organ. What if a drop gets on me and I absorb it?
Like a moisturizer. But like I used to have like straight up nightmares. That's why I was like, have you had a nightmare yet? I feel like that's almost like it's a pretty common experience.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I've had them because I get anxiety dreams. Like I pretty much don't dream unless something spooky happens and then I'm freaking out about it. But yeah, I've had them where I'm getting pregnant and this and that, and I've like taken pregnancy tests when it was absolutely like completely unnecessary. Oh shit. It's funny to think of where my mind goes, that I
saw a sperm.
Yeah.
He's on the pregnancy test. Sorry.
I gotta go to the drugstore. I gotta get down to Walgreens. I'll be back. But yeah, it's not so much, and I was talking earlier about like, if you have a kid, it basically ruins your life. But that isn't really my fear, because I would totally be a father and I would adopt somewhere later down the line when I have my shit together. I would love to adopt. But it's the physically being pregnant that fucks me up, and I'm like, no. I just know that I couldn't handle it, and I don't know what I would do. And even if I wanted to go like somewhere to have it not there anymore, even that process would be so shitty for so many reasons. And I know that like I would be made to feel like the worst person on earth by a lot of people, and that would fucking suck. So yeah, just the whole idea. Sorry,
made to feel like the worst person on earth if you were pregnant?
No, if I got
or
an
if you
abortion.
got rid of, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure I was following correctly,
because I don't think that I know. I mean, pretty much Christy is the only person in my life that is like pro-choice. Everyone else that I know is so like gung-ho, voted for Trump specifically because of pro-life shit. Like, that is like my whole family. So
I don't know anyone who's pro-life, like not a single person. Holy shit.
Oh, I know so many. It's the opposite for me. I'm like, I know one person IRL who's pro-choice.
Oh man, Arkansas is wild. What the hell?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was gonna make a joke like, come to Canada, abortions at the border. I was like, no, that's insensitive. That's mean. Welcome to the aborter. Get it? It's a border, and we abort babies. I'm kidding. I'm joking. Stop, Aaron. It's insensitive. Sorry. Damn. That's wild.
Yeah, and right now, like, so it's mostly Christy's friends. Well, two of like my best guy friends that I hang out with on a regular basis both have children now. Like one of my best friends, who was the co-host of my previous podcast, Conspiracy Facts, he just had a child. He didn't carry it. His partner did. But he had a baby. He's a cis man with a cis woman. And so now he has a kid. My other pal has a kid. And like all of Christy's friends are having kids. Her roommate is pregnant right now. It's like I'm surrounded by it. And I'm 22. I feel like this is way, I don't know. Everyone does their own life at their own speed. But for me, I'm just.
I can't imagine. Like,
I can't.
Even just financially, I'm like, how do you afford to have a baby? Like a whole baby? That's the part that blows my mind. I'm like, I don't understand. That's like, I guess technically you could have a baby without financial stability, but it's like, that is bold. That is scary.
That's stressful.
It's everyone's personal choice. I'm not judging. I'm literally just saying like, I have trouble understanding having that kind of sureness, I guess.
Yeah.
Going back to pregnancy, okay, question. Personally, I feel as though, were we to be in a society that did not bat an eye at a man being pregnant, if it was like a super normal thing, like again, hypothetically, I'm not, society isn't like this. It's, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Are you? Okay,
no, that just put like, that was a completely different perspective. And I gave it some thought and it was like, I was like, you know what? I think I would be fine being pregnant.
Yeah, that's what I find interesting about the pregnancy thing is that mine is 100% rooted in social dysphoria. Like I am dysphoric because of the way that others would perceive me. And like, it's not actually about the act in and of itself of pregnancy. Because it's like when it comes to like male, female, it's like honestly in the wild, it's like not to be all like male seahorses, but honestly, it's like giving birth is just a bodily function. It's just you're making something and then pushing it out. I don't see anything inherently like feminine about that. It's just, again, it's a bodily function for me. I see it very scientifically, but it's the social dysphoria that I'm like, gonna be a hard no for me at the moment. Like,
yeah,
the pregnancy process I could get through in my head by being like, I'm just gonna wear a really big jacket. Gonna get pregnant in the winter. In Canada, I'm just gonna wear like one of those really big like fake fur coats.
You wear a trench coat.
Yeah, like a really
stack
big
the baby on top of me, and then it's gonna be very comedic.
Well, that's it. I'm just who's gonna be like, sir? Nobody's gonna say anything. I mean,
no.
But it's the whole like having to give birth, in a hospital.
Scary.
Because again, I understand it's like, yes, you could give birth, I guess, in a bathtub with a midwife,
Fuck
but
that.
I wouldn't. I have EDS. That would probably kill me and my baby. That's not like super safe for my health condition. And being in a hospital and being like, you're going to get misgendered. There's going to be that one nurse. It's just having to explain that over and over. It's like, once the baby's here, nobody's going to ask. But it's that initial process. That's where I'm like, don't know if I could do that. I don't know. Or like going to the appointments. Yeah.
Giving birth has always been one of my biggest fears. When I was a kid, like I said, anxiety dreams. I used to have dreams that aliens would abduct me and make me pregnant. And now as an adult, like, I'm still like, the act of giving birth is so scary to me, even though like I know that it's just like a little bit of pain for like a few hours and then you're done and then you have the kid. But for me, knowing that, and everyone talks about how pain, what are you thinking? Do you think it was real? Do you think I was abducted?
I mean, yeah, sure. A little bit of pain for a few hours and then you're good. I'm like, I think birth is very scary.
Yeah, I think it's fucked up. But like they drug you out and stuff, right? I don't know. I don't want to do it. I don't ever want to do it. And sometimes they have to like cut things. Fuck it. Fuck all of it.
Well, there's the first obstacle is the let's say the likelihood of needing a C-section, for example. First of all, again, trigger warning, graphic descriptions of birth. Just, I'm warning you all. We're getting into the nitty-gritty. So pushing out a baby involves either them having to cut you so the baby fits or you having to tear naturally. So that in and of itself, I'm like, no, thank you.
No.
I'm good. So it's like, okay, what about a C-section? So two things that terrify me. Firstly,
taking out
a C-section is a serious enough surgery that they should have you under full anesthetic. However, they keep the birth-giving parent awake in case they need to ask any questions, if it's like a life and death situation, anything about the baby's health, they have to keep you awake for that. So being awake during a surgery that's that major, already that, I'm like, oh, no thanks. And also the rate at which a lot of people who have C-sections have like post-operative infections, because it's like they're opening a whole organ and then closing it up. And it's just, anyway, my aunt almost died when she had a C-section because she had an infection go from her uterus straight to her bloodstream, and she's allergic to penicillin and most like other antibiotics. So it's like, how are you going to cure that? So birth is scary. I'm like, no, thanks. And like a lot of people, not a lot, okay, the people I know in my family who probably have similar issues to me, after they gave birth, had issues, like for the rest of their life, had issues with their bladder, with their like abdominal muscles and stuff like that. And I'm like, no. So just the permanence of it and like what it does to the body for me with my body scares the heck out of me. But yeah, no, birth is scary. I was just knock me out for the whole 9 months of pregnancy, and like wake me up when the baby is like 5. I'm kidding.
Wake me up when it's 18.
Yeah,
just kidding. Yeah, it seems really painful and really horrifying, and I have no desire to do it. But the act of like carrying a baby and being pregnant, I think I could if it wasn't like socially seen as weird for men to do that. Yeah, because there would be like a couple, like, yes, there are some support systems in place, but they're scarce, and I'm pretty sure that Arkansas isn't a hot spot for pregnant trans men, so the access to that is not there. Whereas, like, if it were seen as a more acceptable, I guess, thing, like societally, it wouldn't be that bad, because like there would be support groups and stuff. Like when my aunt was pregnant, she went to like pregnant mom yoga and stuff like that. And like there's all these things where you bring your partner, and it's like to get you ready for giving birth and stuff. Like there are a lot of resources for pregnant women, but there aren't a lot of resources for pregnant people in general. And it's like, how welcome are you in those spaces? And it's just, and then there's the whole dysphoria part of it. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of like, it's not the pregnancy and birth in and of itself, it's the added layer of like, it's already a difficult process, and then you have to add in the like social boundaries that I'm like, I'm just not tough enough for that. But I know quite a few trans men who have carried their own kid, but they all carried and gave birth before they knew they were trans. So not that it makes it like it's not, I'm just saying I don't know anyone who, like personally, I know online, but like I don't as friends know anyone who was pregnant while they were out as trans. I don't know what that would be like. Yeah. So, here's one thing that I wanted to add that I was thinking about. I think about this a lot, and this was said this morning in a conversation I was having with Christy, who is my partner, by the way, everyone. She's cis, and that's the deal. But she always says in conversation, she'll say something like, I'm so glad I can't get pregnant. Meaning she's so glad that Ty cannot get her pregnant. And I just think that's a really sweet thing, because she can get pregnant, but you know, the way that she sees it is that like she's not getting pregnant by anyone else. It would be me. And so since I can't get her pregnant, she can't get pregnant. And I mean, even though technically, we could do other ways and do that, she means, you know, just by having sex, I can't get her pregnant. And that's, I don't know. It's always sweet when she says it like that, because it's like that, it's like a set thing, because it would be me, you know? Really interesting. Interesting perspective on it, because my partner also can get pregnant, but it's not because of me. It just doesn't matter who it would be, or like it's complicated. Like some people could get pregnant but can't carry to term. There's a whole bunch of obstacles, and it's like not everyone is able or feels that they could like take that chance. You know, it's like I know losing a baby is traumatic, and she's like, I can't go through that. I wouldn't take that risk. So if my pregnancy chance is like 2%, I'm just gonna adopt. There are a lot of babies in the world, so like I'm like, cool, I get that. And so she often says that too. She's like, thank God I can't get pregnant, but it doesn't have to do with me. And I almost prefer that, because I have been lugging this trans guilt with me every time I'm in a relationship with a cis woman, because I'm like, I feel like they're making a sacrifice by being with me, and all like this whole thing. Not that I would never. Okay, here's my. Sorry, just crack my arms. Crack them up.
I would never stop my partner if pregnancy was something that they felt they wanted or needed to go through in their life. I would never be like, no, sorry, not my sperm, not your baby. Like, fucking, I would never do that. I would never want to deprive my partner of that experience. But I don't deny the fact that that experience would likely make me dysphoric, and I would have to work through it in therapy. And like, I would have to work through my boundaries of like, well, this, I wasn't able to give my genetic material, or at least I get you could do the egg thing, but again, complicated. I'm just saying I couldn't do the typical.
You can't nut up in there and get her.
I tried to say stereotypical and I said stypical. You get what I'm saying? It's like I would have to work through that whole like, this is another person's sperm in my partner. And it's like, that's not a big deal. But I need to work through that because I have so much jealousy when it comes to other people producing sperm.
Yeah.
Regardless of gender. I'm just jealous because sperm. So, yeah, I'd have to work through my own insecurities because that's not my partner's burden to carry. You get what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't put that on them. But in a way, sometimes, not that I'm relieved, but it does make both of us feel better. Like, she told me that she always felt guilty when she was in relationships with cis men because she was like, she felt the same way. She's like, I feel bad that I wouldn't be able to carry their kid and I wouldn't want them to have to choose between like, she was also sensitive about that. She's like, I wouldn't want, you get into like, she wouldn't want to stop their partner from getting, let's say, like a surrogate mother and stuff like that. But we're in like the same situation for different reasons.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's also when she says like, thank God I can't get pregnant. For us, it's like this moment of like, yeah, we're gonna have kids a different way.
That's
cool.
Sweet. I totally feel what you mean about like feeling guilty about, or being insecure about not being able to get someone pregnant. Because I felt that a lot. There was a time when Christy was going through some weird hormonal shit, and she really wanted a baby, and I was like, tough shit. But I also, was like, realistically, if I could get her pregnant, we would probably already have kids by now. So like, I can't judge my peers who are my age having children, but yeah, there was definitely times where I was like, it just, it stings a little bit knowing that she wanted a kid. But now I think this experience of everyone around her having kids and getting pregnant, she's like, thank fuck. And that's nice. It's nice that we've gotten here, but she would never made me feel bad about it. It was just my own internalized, like, wish I could help you there.
Shit out of luck. Yeah, no, I get same. I've never had a partner that's been like, wow, what a sacrifice I'm making for you, Aaron and Sweeney. No sperm linguini. Like, nobody's ever said that to me. I've just always felt it,
Right.
Honestly, though, what's weird is this is something I used to feel even before I knew I was trans. Like, I've always been... okay, the only time I've ever been in a relationship with someone who was not a woman was after I came out of trans. So, in my time living and identifying as a woman, I only dated other women other than, like, this one boy named, like, Daniel, but I was, like, 14. Doesn't count. We weren't
Call him up.
sexuals.
Get him on the podcast. Daniel?
Beep, boop, boop. Hey, what's up, Dan? Yeah, no, it's me. I'm kidding. Also, I'm not saying that relationships are only valid if they're sexual. That's not what I meant. I meant like we were kids. Our relationship was not. It was just like, come over, let's play Xbox. Like I'm not joking. So, anyway, and it was like a month long. Calm down. So, I identified as a lesbian, and I remember being really sad. Like I was really bummed out about the fact that I couldn't get with my cis female partner and like rub uteruses and make like a baby. And I know that there's science somewhere in the world where you could combine two eggs. Like I know we've all read the same article, but where where is it? So it's not really like a viable option to go to the pharmacy and just, hi, could you combine these? I have these eggs.
The Egg Smasher 5000.
The eggs. You take the eggs and you like beat them in a bowl with like a little whisk. You make like French toast.
You make an omelet. Sprinkle in some genetics.
So yeah, it's weird that it's like almost not even like not that I'm grateful, but I'm glad to have that in my past, to know that my sadness, my grieving over not being able to have a biological kid spans beyond my gender dysphoria. It's something that even, like, I've always known that I wanted to spend my life with a female partner. It's just now I know that I could be with a female partner who doesn't have a uterus, who has, who produces sperm. It's like it's not about that anymore. It's just now it's about the fact that I found a partner that I would like to spend the rest of my life with, ideally, and that with that partner I can have a kid. But it's interesting that that's always been something I've grieved over. I don't know why, because again, there are a lot of other ways to have kids, but it's just something I've never fully addressed, and I don't know why I'm so sad about it. I don't know. Maybe it's narcissistic to be like, I want a little me running around, but it's more like I want to. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
It is like written into our genetic code to want that. So I don't think you should feel bad. But I do totally, I understand what you mean too, was where like before my transition, I felt that with partners that I had been with. But I was sort of always, in the back of my mind, like, I'll probably just adopt because I don't want to have a kid anyways. And here's some real narcissism. I don't think I'd be able to find a guy with like sperm that would be better than a kid that I could actually produce. So I'll just adopt one.
Right? Like if your kid inherits something from you, you're like, well, fuck, I put that there. But then someone else, it's like, how dare you?
How dare you? Yeah.
Take this. Send it back. This is overdone. I guess for a medium well, baby. But it's just, same. It's like, it's weird because I would have those moments of mourning, but then I was always like, I've always wanted to adopt. I just also wanted to have a bio kid. I don't know. I guess you're right. It's kind of like written into your genetics that, your body's just like, do it. Do it. So like, I understand why, like, there's just this innate sort of like multiply, do it. Like I get, that makes me feel better. So it's like, it's mostly genetic. And I know that I love any kid. It's not about blood relation. Like, it's not most of my family's chosen family. It has nothing to do with blood or any of that. And I know that I could adopt an older kid. I could adopt a kid who is autistic. Like, there are going to be, my thing is like, I want to be there for my kid in the ways that like I wished people had been there for me. There's this whole sort of like not living vicariously through my child. Not that. It's just I want to be the parent to, I don't know. You should not use your children for healing yourself. That's selfish and rude.
I know what you mean, though. You want to provide the kind of care that would have helped you, and that other people might not know how to provide for that child.
Yeah, but then I remember that I'm like, I could adopt a kid who's autistic. I could, like, it's not unique to me, so I could still do that for any kid. It's just getting past that barrier of like, you're probably not gonna have bio kids. So yeah, I feel like if I could have a hysterectomy, I probably eventually would. But right now I'm in a place where every doctor is kind of like, I'm not going near that. No, if your organs collapse, I'm not dealing with that. So I'm kind of here like, cool, I'll just stay with this rude ass organ. But yeah, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about hysterectomies.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Me too. I'm so scared. Like, I know I'm going to get it, but I'm so scared.
I was having a moment this morning where I was just like, it would be nice, phalloplasty. And I was like, why? Why? It's like 8 a.m. I'm like, now's not the time.
Where you have to go through that whole emotional, like, journey of weighing everything. And then you imagine it in your hand. And like,
yes. I don't know why this is, okay. One of the things that does me in with phalloplasty, because there's a big part of me that's like, whatever, like, using a prosthetic is like a choose your own adventure thing, like whatever. Yeah, like there's a lot of people like using a prosthetic and they're good with that. I often get dysphoric when I use prosthetic, and there are some things I was like that bother me about that, and I was thinking about that, and I'm like, a weird thing that I wish I could experience. This is gonna sound so weird. Again, trigger warning, sex is okay. Listen, when you're doing the deed and you enter your partner, there's probably like warmth and like sensations and like I feel like I'm missing out on that. That's something that oddly makes me dysphoric, that I could never feel it the way I want to feel it. And I was like, oh man, if I had phalloplasty, I would be able to feel all of that. And then I go through the whole like the chances of phalloplasty working well on me and with my collagen, right, the whole thing, and also just psychologically what it's like to go through that. Like, I have friends who've had phalloplasty and like sitting in bed for a week. It's just it's a lot. There's a lot going on with that. But yeah, you have those moments where you're like, wow, let's go through this.
Yeah, let's do this shit today. because I don't have
Let's do
anything
it.
else to do.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Callum.
Oh, little lamb.
Why is your head so crusty? What did you do?
His face. For our listeners out there, Aaron's cat is in his lap, and he's looking.
He's getting a little.
He doesn't
scritchy.
look alive.
He's very content.
Yeah, he actually kind of looks like he's praying. It's
He
kind of
might
sweet.
be.
He's got a good massage. It's like
But yeah,
you're
that
making a
phalloplasty-
calzone or something. You're like pressing his sides.
I like to stretch his. Okay, I call this his. He has a lot of skin because he's a lot like a sphinx. I think it's called the naked cats. They have a lot of skin.
Mm-hmm.
He's like that, but he has an outside layer of fur. But it makes it all this skin. I call it his chutch, and I like to touch the chutch when I pet him. I like to just look at all this. You don't need that much chutch. It's so much. So,
I
yeah,
do
or
that
like,
to Nani too.
or
She
like
has like
this
whole
down-
fold that comes out over her collar.
you know this here, this little flap of skin, the chutch. I like to touch the chutch. Also, he likes to lay in my arms like a bag of potatoes. So now he's just gonna stay here. So
That's so cute.
yeah, but anyway, yeah, I opened that Phalloplasty box this morning and I was like, no, let's repress that. So I either feel it
Push that
all
down.
or none at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew, yeah. I'm just, it's kind of sad to think that I couldn't have a biological kid, but in the grand scheme of things with like the state of the world and climate change and like GTG and 12 actual years goodbye to humanity, like I'm fine with not bringing an actual child into this world, and there's plenty to adopt, so I'll probably end up getting one of those if we're still alive when it's time to get one. Mm-hmm. Which
Trans
we won't
people
be.
are saving the climate. Pass it on.
Do what?
Trans people are saving the climate. Pass it on.
Exactly, yeah.
Save the earth. Transition.
Transition. So yeah,
It's a good
I'm
way to
not
look
even
at it,
worried
though.
about it. Yeah, because if I brought a kid into this world, I'd be bringing it into a dying world, and then I'd feel guilty because, realistically, I will be alive to see shit go to shit, but that kid will have even more of that if it even makes
is
it
true.
to adulthood, which with where we are now with the climate is not likely.
That is scary.
Yeah.
I know this podcast isn't about climate change, but like, could we just take a minute? That's scary. Okay.
Right. Yeah. It's fucked up.
Yeah. No, to think about that, to like, okay. I feel like we should almost make a whole podcast about the end of the world because I have so much to
Ooh,
say
I would
about
love
it.
that. I would love to give different theories and different ways that it could happen.
Yes.
My favorite ones. The
Oh
most
my-
likely
okay.
one. That kind of stuff.
Have an idea. Have an idea for our next podcast, Ty.
Let's do that. Let's do that instead of the other thing we were going to do today.
Good. Yeah.
Or
Yeah, I'm like
next week.
100% down. I'm so ready. Okay,
Tight,
great,
tight,
cool.
tight,
I can
tight.
just put that in my tangent pocket. So
All right,
babies,
Tune in next week to hear our End of the World podcast, which inevitably came from us talking about children, from having children.
Let's
we
not
gotta
dig too deep
find
into
a
that.
quiz.
right?
Sorry,
What
were you saying?
would our quiz be like? Which pregnancy are you? Like I don't. Listen,
I'm gonna do baby quiz, and let's see what happens.
I
We
mean,
know when you're going to have your first baby. BuzzFeed. You want to try that?
Sure. My cat's eating my stim toy. Actually, it's a cat toy, so you know what? Go fucking nuts.
Actually, here's some. Pretend to buy some baby stuff, and we'll tell you what type of mum you'll be. No, thank you. That's gendered. This quiz will reveal what you should name your baby. I like that.
Let's do that. I like that. What's to name your baby? I would probably name them something like flaxseed oil, fucking avocado pits. You know I would. It's some like really.
I want to name mine Hoof.
I want to give. I named my cat. I make fun of trans names all the time because I'm trans and it's fun and I like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I named my cat Kylam, and then someone the other day was like, "I learned in Latin class that it's Latin for sent from the sky." I'm like, "Yeah, obviously. Look at me. Look at. Do you think I wouldn't choose a name that has some deep, significant meaning that nobody will know except me? Of course I did.
That's so cute.
So yeah, no, of course I'm gonna name my firstborn Flaxseed, and the second one Coconut Oil.
I call my dog Goose, and I call my other dog Zazzle, which is neither of their actual names. So I think that I would end up naming a kid, and then by the time it was like 2 or 3, it would have a completely different name.
I'm okay
and
with that.
That's just how it is. First,
I think it's good.
pick a pacifier. Are you on the quiz?
Yeah, so I'm for sure picking, I don't know if they're in the same order, but I'm for sure picking that second pacifier with that like super hipster pattern on it.
Oh my god, it's like chevron ass, some shit. Okay, I'm doing one that says nook, and that sounds like a funny word, so I'm picking nook.
Parenting 101. Now, pick out a stroller.
Which one of these can drift the best?
Okay. That second one looks like the tank of strollers. Like you could go mountain climbing with that one. So
Yeah.
that one's cool. But that fourth one at the bottom with the fuchsia top, why is it so flat? What are you putting there? A pita bread? What? That's not for babies.
Stand your baby up straight. It's like
You're gonna launch them
rolling
into
it out.
space, like ejecting.
It's like rolling out Hannibal Lecter at the end of Silence of the Lambs.
To be fair, that's how I feel when my friend's like, I'm having a baby. I'm like, great. Babies are scary.
Yeah.
Get that stroller.
A onesie? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
This is actually cute. I think I will go ahead and have a baby. It's like, I like the 2 giraffes. If you're hearing some sounds,
I'm
it
sorry
could
for
have
that
been
sound. Someone decided that right now is the time to clip their hedges.
me. How do you hear them clip? Oh, it's like a motor, like a brrr.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's going to be annoying. It's okay. Okay, I can't choose a onesie. Okay, listen, here's the dilemma. The penguin one is so cute,
That's
but then the one under it
adorable.
has a bow tie, and the one under that has dinosaurs, and the one on the right has stags, and I'm hipster trash, we know it. And then the one at the top has a bow and mustaches, so I'm just like,
Oh my god.
I
I'm
don't
going
know.
with the 2 giraffes. I think yellow is cute.
Oh no, I can't pick.
Do the stags, you hipster ass. They're gonna give you some like.
Yeah.
They're gonna give you flaxseed oil.
Now pick out a stuffed animal.
Oh, Snorlax for sure.
I'm getting the little mouse. Obviously.
That's cute.
Choose a wallpaper pattern for the nursery. Oh, it's
Whales.
hard.
Oh, wait, this one has a fox on it. Looks like goose.
I'm gonna go with the cats and the flowers.
That's cute. I'm gonna
a
do the
puppy.
space stuff, the sky and the stars, moon. I think Christy would like something like that.
The next one is pick a puppy for your baby to grow up with.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Oh my god, the one in the very middle, absolutely adorable.
I'm gonna go with the top middle, the little brown one.
Oh,
You look so happy.
Scruffy.
I'm scruffy. Yeah.
That's so cute. Pick
Finally,
a crib.
pick out the crib. Okay, that middle bottom one doesn't look secure. That's like it's like a napkin holder.
It looks like one of those rides at the fair that spins around. Looks like the zipper. Put your kid in the zipper. Fuck it.
Cis hets because I can make babies like this. Fucking rude. We'll make more. It's fine. Go.
We'll make another one. Fuck it. I'm gonna go with the first one.
I'm gonna go with the bottom left one because it has a couch and I'm selfish. I want to sit.
I got my name.
What's yours?
Okay, I got 2 names. I got Alex and Noah, which are both so fucking trans. What the fuck?
Okay. I got Aiden and Jaden. They also said Caden. Okay, sorry, just kidding. Iron Maiden.
Holy
Okay.
shit. Iron Maiden.
I got Emma, which is my mom's name. That's like a little too close to home. You know a little too much.
Wow.
Emma and listen, Izan. Izan. Is that like Ian, but the Z is silent? I have a lot of questions. Izan.
Weird.
Emma means whole or universal. Cool, I'll let my mom know. Whereas Izan is a Spanish variation of Ethan. Of course it is.
Well, I didn't read what mine meant because I just got that they were both very trans, and I was like, this is enough for me. I know what this shit means. You don't have to tell me.
This is a fun quiz. Let us know what your baby's names are. We'll set up a play date.
Yeah, put those in the comments below. Oh, we did get comments on the last one that we put the wrong quiz in the description.
Yeah, I don't know who did that. It definitely wasn't me.
I
was
forgot
me.
to
I
even
did it.
put the quiz in there in the first place, so at least you did that. Like, it's okay.
I was Googling and I was like, shit, I guess it's this one. I couldn't find it because I couldn't find any BuzzFeed one. So I was like, okay, maybe it was Play Buzz and I'm just like dyslexic, but no.
It's always BuzzFeed.
Always BuzzFeed.
No one know. But
I
they found
fixed it.
they found. Oh, you fixed it. Tight.
Yeah.
Sweet. I was like, so many people have put the right one in the description or in the comments. Someone can find it from there. Like, I'm not even worried about it.
Yeah, exactly. So like, all right, it's fine, it's cool. I just felt bad because every week there's something.
We're just now starting. People, I'm sorry. We're doing our best.
We're doing our best. It's tough, but it's worth it.
They seem to not really give too much of a shit. They're pretty chill.
Yeah. We
All
love
right.
you. Thanks.
Thank you, folks. This has been my favorite podcast.
My favorite.
And I'm your favorite co-host.
Fucking rude. I'm Aaron and Sweeney Flaxseed Oil, and have a nice week. Enjoy your
Ty.
babies.
Please don't get me pregnant, Turner. And come back next week and see our shit.
Bye.
Bye.